So we are being told that we need a new political culture. And this new political culture is being defined as a political culture of inclusiveness. And inclusiveness is being defined as ethnic cooperation, religious cooperation, developmental cooperation, and ideological collaboration. This is essentially a good thing, and this is something that is necessary. However, there is something that is far more important than this. And if that something is not achieved, this new political culture will not be generated. What is this something that is so important that if it is not achieved, this new political culture of inclusiveness will not be generated? It is good governance. To put it very simply and to use a cliche. But good governance is a very serious matter and something that has to be taken seriously. Let me explain. What is good governance? Good governance means that politicians play the role that politicians are expected to play in a law-governed democratic society. What is that role that politicians are supposed to play? We have become accustomed to politicians getting involved in development practice. Now, this is not what politicians should be doing. Why? Because when politicians get involved in development practice, they create dependencies. People become dependent upon them for their developmental needs. And when politicians get involved in development practice, they also become corrupt. We have seen this. And unless we change this, we are going to see more and more of this. Now, what is the result of this? What is the result of politicians getting involved in development practice, creating dependencies, and becoming corrupt? The result is quite clear to see. Honest individuals do not get involved in politics, and instead we have dishonest individuals and criminals involved in politics. So what is the solution? There are two sides to the solution. Firstly, politicians must return to their role of governing. They should get their sticky fingers out of the developmental process. Let me explain. The job of a politician is to ensure that there are proper policies in place and that there is a strong legislative framework and regulatory framework designed to implement these policies that are put in place. Most of our politicians, I'm afraid, do not understand this fundamental factor. They do not know that we have sent them to Parliament in order to formulate policies and enact laws that when implemented will lead to the implementation of these policies. I'm afraid to say that very few politicians understand that this is why we elect them and this is why they are elected and this is what they are supposed to do. They waste their time building toilets, giving people free houses, That is not what we have sent them to Parliament to do. We have sent them there to formulate policies that will take the country forward and to enact laws which, when implemented, will lead to the implementation of those policies. If you look at the situation, you can see how, to what extent this practice has deteriorated. If you look at the legislative enactments of this country, to this date, after 67 years of independence, they have not been categorized subject-wise, and nobody appears to realize that this is one of the most important things that has to be done. The government of Sri Lanka has a special research department. All the president has to do is to instruct the special research department to go back in time, collect all the legislative enactments that have been made to date, categorize them subject-wise, and put those legislative enactments up online in a database so that our politicians can access these legislative enactments, study them, and make the necessary legislative amendments that are required to bring about the implementation of the policies that they advocate and that Parliament accepts. Let me assure you, most of our politicians do not understand that this is what they are supposed to do, and so I call upon all of you to remind them, to write to them, to scream at them if necessary, and tell them that this is what they as politicians are supposed to be doing, and ask them not to waste their time getting involved in the developmental process and getting involved in welfare measures, but to get back to the fundamental task of legislating and policy formulation that we expect them to do. So then, what happens to development? I have spoken to you about this before. At the time when the state as we know it came into being, the state with the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature, at the time when this state came into being, there was nothing called development. If you think I'm telling you a story that has no basis in historical reality, go back to school and do the studies that are required, and you will find that at the time that the nation state as we know it came into being, there was nothing called development practice. Today there is. Today there are specialists in development. Today there are reasons why development is necessary. So we need a fourth pillar of the state, just like the judiciary, just like the legislature, just like the executive. We need the developmental. So just like the Chief Justice, just like the President, just like the Prime Minister, we need a Commissioner of National Development. And just like the judiciary, we need a structure beneath this Commissioner for National Development. We need development practitioners in all our districts, in all our provinces, and in all our villages, whose job is to ensure that developmental policies are implemented. Now, developmental policies may be decided upon by the government. The laws governing developmental policies have to be enacted by Parliament. But the implementation of those developmental policies, developmental laws, developmental rules, developmental regulations must be the task of the National Development Commission, the Commissioner for National Development. And then Parliament, the President, and the judiciary are charged with ensuring that the Commissioner for National Development does his job properly, and that the entire developmental network, the network of developmental practitioners who implement developmental policy are not corrupt. And then Parliament, the President and the judiciary will be able to ensure that the Commissioner for National Development and the structures under him are not corrupt, because they are not involved in development. They have the independence and the objectivity to stand aside and ensure that the developmental process is free of corruption. Now, this is the fourth pillar of the state that I have been advocating. In case you don't get it, I am advocating it. What do you mean by advocating? It means I am saying that this must be done. And in case you think that I am simply talking to you about this, no, that is not the case. I have written about this to the President. I have written about this to the Prime Minister. I have written about this to all the parliamentarians who I think have sufficient intelligence to understand what I am saying. So I am advocating. I am saying this must be done. And it will be helpful, I think, if as many of you as possible also join in this advocacy. I am not asking you to gang up. I am not asking you to get politically activated. I am not asking you to form some kind of a committee. I don't believe in these kind of things. That is not the structure that I think will bring you freedom. That is the kind of structure that will lead to bureaucracy and oppression. But what I do believe in is that if you agree with what I am saying, if you think it is a good idea, don't keep it to yourself, speak about it, share it with your friends, and most of all, take the trouble to write to the President, to write to the Prime Minister, write to the Chief Justice if necessary. Tell them you think this is a good idea and that it should be implemented. Because putting things down in writing is very important. Because there's just a chance then that it may go on record somewhere. So that is my message to you today, and I hope that one or two of you will actually get down to advocating what I have placed before you for your consideration, and what I ask you to support.